I bet you didn't expect this to be here. This is one of the first DBJ creepypastas in the channel. It is about a video that hadn't been uploaded in 2022, with it being in a secret place or deleted. Tail Demon was supposed to be in season 5 for Sonic Awkward series but instead kept it secret for YouTube. It is considered a lost episode. A lost episode is a episode from a show that was never aired, whether it's a kids show. It contains gore content and violence that is too scary for people to watch and get nightmares from that. Let's begin reading. Sonic the Hedgehog Awkward series, Tailed Demon is a lost episode of STHAS from the series LBS. It was originally going to be episode 4 for season 5. But it got replaced by a new one called Yodel Gets Hypothermia instead. Story. A YouTuber called Damian Bumpus went to YouTube Studio to see how much subscribers he got, and it's close to 4,000. He very excited. He went to the kitchen to get a snack. When he came back to his room where he mostly records there, he went to his phone to see the Photos app, but he saw a video he didn't even record, which is strange because he mostly went somewhere fun without it. It is unknown if someone messed with his phone and recorded a video. So he decided to watch it. It first started with the Sonic 2 game intro which he used in his episode. When it was about to enter the title of the series, something showed up for a split second. Damian rewound the video and paused it on time. Something was off. The water turned red instead of blue, the island behind the title is destroyed, and the title became broken, mostly blocking the number 2 for reasons. And Sonic, he became butchered and blood running down, and Tails, he was crying because his friend was dead. Damian had a confused reaction to this so he kept playing the video. Something went wrong with the Awkward series, the font changed and blood showed up. Damian had to ignore that and kept going. The episode started off with Tails on his computer making a strange picture. Tails gets off his computer and tells Sonic he's going to invent something in his lab. Sonic agrees and Tails leaves. Tails goes on the sidewalk and walks to his lab. Somehow Tails' bullies showed by his house and went inside. They had a dark plan to do, killing his friends, which is wrong. They first killed Sonic and turns the camera around. Yodel, Cowl, and Billy heard the noises of Sonic screaming, and the bullies spotted them and killed them also. The screen cuts to black and went to Tails returning home. When he opens the door he was quick to notice his friends murdered. Sonic having his right eye taken out, blood everywhere, his right arm cut off and his right knee cut it off with the bones exposed. Yodel having his left leg cut it off, his tongue ripped off, half his nose is sliced off, also leaking blood and leaving his face in a shocked expression. Cowl having his right eye taken out and his right ear ripped off. Billy doesn't contain blood and instead busted with holes open, leaving Tails shocked and him ending up crying instantly. He runs to his room and his sobbing gets louder every second. Damian was nervous of this because he wouldn't have extreme violence in his videos even though some people dies in some video with less violence. He decides to watch until the end. The screen cuts to black with a title called 2 weeks later. Tails was going to go to bed. For some reason he is crying blood and something has changed to him. His fur has changed to a slightly dark shade, along with his eyes, also possessing extra tails. When he went to sleep, he had a dream in some dark void and he also heard a strange voice that wasn't Damian's voice. The speech transforms him instantly, his skin getting more darker, and his eyes turning darker, and also gaining extra tails. The dream ended, although the dream was just a nightmare thinking it happened in real life too, but it actually happened to Tails. He now has a dark shade of red, his eyes black with red pupils, similar to his egg's form and Sonic EXE and now possessing 8 tails. He knows what the strange voice said. It said to kill his bullies back, so he flies there as fast as possible. The bullies were having a sleepover until Tails busted in, leaving them in a shock at what Tails looked like. He was crying blood and he said, "You killed my friends, so I will avenge them to kill you back." The bullies tried to apologize to him saying, "Tails, I'm sorry for killing your friends. I didn't know you were this angry." But Tails had none of it and killed them anyways, showing their corpses. Tails walks back to his house and uses his demonic abilities to make his dead friends come to life as reanimated corpses. Then Tails stares at the camera and the screen cuts to black. For 3 seconds it shows Tails' demonic look, showing the text, "You are the bully." Damian was completely terrified of this. Then the episode ended with a normal Sonic game to intro and title screen awkward series. Damien was completely frightened about this. He decided not to upload it to YouTube and instead sending it to his computer and leaving it in a secret folder. Then he deleted it in his phone. When he finished, he heard the voice of Tails from nowhere. He snaps out of it and goes to sleep. When he was going to use the bathroom at 3 a.m., he spotted a red glow from the window. He looks out and he spots Tails in his demonic form. He soon passes out. When he woke up, he decided to replace the episode with a video where Yordle gets hypothermia. The end. Thanks for watching. DBJ Creepypasta. A forest killer. Here's the story, so let's read. SBL Blacklights. A forest killer is an apparent lost episode of SBL Blacklights. It was supposed to be episode 6 of season 8 but got removed for good purpose due to the extremely violent content it had. Damien had planned a SBL Blacklights video that hadn't appeared since January 18. He plans on making a 6th episode that was named Forest Investigation. The episode was 12 minutes long and he finished the video. He was going to check it but saved it for later. 2 hours ago he finally checks the upload. However, when he watched his video, something was different. It was definitely not what he recorded after hours ago. He decides to watch it anyway. The video starts with Boris sitting and watching TV looking very bored. Alice came out her room to explain to Boris where is Bendy, but Boris has never really seen Bendy since yesterday, so they search the whole house for him but still no signs of him anywhere. They think he went outside. They randomly went in this forest. When they walked deeper they heard strange voices leaving a shocked expression on their face. They ignored it and went further. After some time they heard blood-curdling screams, stabbing, and blood splattering. Strangely, the screaming was Tails. Although he was shown in episode 5 when he returns to Sonic, they were shaking to see who that was, and it was the body of Bendy doll and Bendy was standing to him. Boris and Alice called out to Bendy. He turned around but something was off about him. His eyes are a slightly bloodshot red color, his mouth wide open and he appears to have no teeth. Along with blood covering him, he holds a knife and said to Boris and Alice, "I am no Bendy, I am Mr. Blacklight, you know." They were confused and Bendy immediately stabs Boris with his knife, killing him. Alice runs away in fear as Bendy chases her. He catches up to her as he stabs her repeatedly until she dies. He stabs the 4 people's bodies and pulls out their guts as he eats them one by one. The episode ends with Bendy staring at the camera and immediately lunges at it, leaving static for a second and then ending. Damien was confused and shocked at the same time. He changes his mind and deletes the video. He went to recently deleted and click the permanent delete button. But no matter how many times he pressed it, it won't go away, and Bendy mysteriously comes out the phone and tries to attack Damien. But Damien quickly knows how to kill him. He went to the kitchen to grab a knife. As Mr. Blacklight got closer to him, Damien immediately stabbed him repeatedly until he is dead. He decayed quickly as he turned to ashes as Damien threw it to the trash. He is glad he is home alone or else he would get in trouble. He actually deleted it for real this time and forgets all about it after 2 days as it gets erased from his memories. DBJ Creepypasta. Tails' fear. Here's the story, so let's read. Sonic the Hedgehog awkward series. Tails' Fear was a lost and alternate episode of Tails' Phobia. It got taken down after it was uploaded, due to the gory scenes and blood. It was December 27, 2021. It was accidentally uploaded to YouTube. A man came to check the video. It started but for some reason it skipped the 2 intros and instead went straight to the video. The beginning started the same as Tails' Phobia, with Tails saying he likes his 2 tails even though he got made fun of other abusive people, but he just gets used to it and forgets about his past. He spots 2 people named Bendo and Boar. Boar asked Bendo that his tail looks tasty and asked him to take a bite. However, unlike the Phobia video when Bendo disbelieves that it looks tasty, in fear he agrees and lays down and pointed his tail toward him. Boar gets a maniacal smile and chomps hardly instead of gently. This also releases blood from the tail but Bendo doesn't seem to care. Tails only gets a shocked expression on his face. Instead of explaining he eats tails in Phobia, he likes eating tails and explains he wants to eat more but was being sarcastic. Tails heard it, screams and runs away. Boar and Bendo was confused with who screams but ignores it. However, in fear he shows a psycho smile with his eyes red and Tails screams and runs away. Bendo said that felt good and allows him to catch more, and Boar does. Sonic checks on Tails to see why he's scared like in Phobia. It's the same. Tails went to his room. Sonic heard a glass shatter and Boar was inside. He lunges at Sonic and the screens turns black. Tails was reading a book minding his business when he noticed someone at the door looking very shocked. He saw him before, so he was very scared. His teeth were bloody and goes for Tails. Tails didn't have time to run away, so Boar pushes him to the floor, grabs his tails and starts eating and ripping off the fur of him. Tails screams in severe pain as his heart slowly stops and dies. Boar completely devours his whole two tails and leaves, viewing Tails' tail bones exposed and with Tails dead. When the wolf walks outside and stops, he looks directly at the camera with a smile and the screen turns black. The screen comes back with Boar's evil self with a text that says, "Tails is dead." And to make it more scary is Tails' scream in the background that is so loud it could damage a person's ears. The screen turns black again and went back to Tails' dead body. His eyes are dead empty with a slightly realistic style, and a very loud jumpscare comes in. The episode ends with Sonic's body with his spiky tail bitten off by Boar. The person was terrified when watching and decides to watch something else. It was deleted later on and was replaced with Tails' phobia. DBJ Creepypasta. Tails' suicide. Here's the story, so let's read. Sonic the Hedgehog Awkward Series. Tails' suicide is a lost episode from the YouTube channel DBJ. It shows Tails shooting himself with a gun. I am Damien, and I am planning for future YouTube videos on my channel soon, doing new things on my computer and recording with a iPhone. Suddenly a text message from an unknown person titled, "Hey, watch this. I promise nothing will go wrong." And it shows a video. I sent it to the Photos app and watched it after because, you know, curiosity gets the best of me. It shows a classic Sonic the Hedgehog Awkward Series. When I watched it, I figured this video was hacked. Here's what happened in that upload. It starts with Sonic watching television and is curious what the forests look like. He speeds to the nearest and explored. Eventually he was caught by some aggressive animals, and he was about to outrun them, but the animals caught him before he runs away. They killed him and then eats him right on the spot. One of his body parts flicked away. The scene flips away with Tails going back to his house, bed for some reason, and wonders where Sonic went. He decides to watch TV and then it immediately went to the news channel. And the news reporter tells the people watching that Sonic was found dead. They only found the left leg of Sonic. This was pretty depressing, no doubt. Tails was shocked and went into a state of depression due to him being his best friend. His fur changed into a slight yellow shade to fit into the pale color. Yodel, Cowl and Billy were seen in a car, but something strange is happening to the car. It is overheating. It looked like it was about to explode, but they didn't jump out in time and exploded with the car. The explosion was so big that it wiped out all life on Earth, except for Tails. When Tails was outside, he walked on a sidewalk. This was actually a outside scene, not some bedroom pretending, but it was looping. He grew more hopeless as the loop continues. His sanity is starting to lower down as his face gets deformed. It appears as a nightmare dream for him. He tried to exit the room, but the door had vanished unnoticed. He remained in his room for 3 months as he cried uncontrollably and goes insane and mad. Not to mention he can't let go of Sonic and his 11-year-old friend's deaths. After 3 hours passing, he can't take this torturous pain anymore. So he took out a gun, he hid it and pointed it towards him, and he pulls the trigger and unalives himself with blood and gore spatting all across the room, and the episode ends with no outro. I was pretty scared about this because Tails was literally one of my favorite characters in the Sonic franchise. After I watched it, a text appeared saying, "Look into your computer, I've got a bad feeling about it." I booted it up and I came across a bloodied image of Tails himself. I was grossed out about this and it felt like I was about to throw up. After that I came across an entity that takes my appearance. After that I fainted as the entity touched me. When I woke up I didn't remember what happened, but luckily I still have enough memory to remember. Never come across any hacked material like this one. Hey guys, so instead of reading the story I had to tell you everything about this creepypasta, which is named
No más colas, estás sola erizo.
So it seems that Damien came across a unknown SGHAS episode and he decides to watch it to see what's on it. It started with a Sonic 2 intro, but Tails was not seen. Sonic didn't react, which was strange. Then a text appeared, but it was Spanish. Damien translated it and it said, "No more Tails, you are all alone, Hedgehog." He doesn't know what that meant, so he kept watching. Sonic was speeding around town, eventually going home, when he noticed Tails is gone. After searching for a while, he got tired and waited till tomorrow. Next morning he has to find him outside, but something was off. The sky was grey, along with black trees, looking like midnight, but it was 12 p.m. Confusion started happening to Sonic. He decided to walk around looking for Tails. Eventually he gets startled by a growl. Sonic called out. Tails came out from the shadows. He was super tall and lanky and very decayed teeth that were sharp. As Sonic was shocked and saying Tails softly, "Cowl," Yodel and Billy came out also in their nightmarish forms. Tails then proceeds to attack and kill Sonic and the screen turns to black after a glitch effect. Next, it shows a barely seen photo of Sonic's body with his abdomen torn and his intestine exposed, lost both his eyes and one quill that was ripped and no longer have legs. The screen returns to the dark forest and Sonic was now a part of them and the episode ends. Quite a short episode but still scary. It wasn't known how Tails, Cowl, Yodel and Billy became monsters. I think the theories are, they got killed by another monstrous figure, or a mysterious viral infection, or they are separate entities and the real Tails, Cowl and Billy and Yodel are dead and their spirit was reborn as figures, along with Sonic. I'm not sure, but still this was a unsettling creepypasta. Speaking of the story, here it is right here. I'm not gonna keep it on the screen for that long, so pause and read it at your own purpose. This is what they look like as monsters. Like the video if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, welcome back with another DBJ creepypasta, and it's slaughterdamien.avi. He is from a creepypasta of the same name. And you can basically tell by looking at him as a psycho version of Damien who was trying to unalive everybody, and his story is kinda short but dark. It takes place with Damien who wants to do real animations and he wants to try that. He tries so hard to make it and it's finished. The first Damien and the Sidekicks video made, and he wants it uploaded but want to watch it first. The video begins with Damien sitting in his room being silent, along with a creepy expression on his face. His girlfriend Balana comes in and tells him is he okay. Damien didn't respond. She takes the silence as a yes and leaves. Damien leaves his room to his basement. He finds a knife and a axe. He then talks to himself. I deserve to be alone. He then proceeds to kill his first target, which is Raymond. He turns around and asks him. He ignores and unalives him. His appearance changed, which is what's on the screen. Dark sunken eyes with black liquid and a menacing smile with sharp teeth and a snake-like tongue. He also takes out the rest of his main sidekicks. He then leaves and fourth wall breaks, which is looking at the camera, and destroys it with his axe, leaving static. And the episode ends. Damien thinks this is way too creepy to upload, so he deletes it. Here's the story. Take your time and pause if necessary. Thanks for watching. Like this video. Hey guys, this creepypasta is kind of weird, but it is creepy in its own right. If this image looks familiar to you, this is based on a Roblox game titled The Fun Fair Situation. This is a blurred out image of a doppelganger version of the Roblox user Damien Jr. 2008, and he is weirdly obsessed with people who wears a white and red cloth, sometimes males. This is what the original Damien Jr. 2008 looks like. The story goes like this. Damien goes on the computer to play Roblox to play Theme Park Tycoon 2 and decides to build a new park. After finishing the tutorial, something weird happened in the distance. It was the fun fair Damien just made. What was also strange is that the user has the same name of Damien's. He went inside to find him. Eventually he found him, but without a username text above him. He weirdly flirts with the red and white clothed people. Damien was confused nonetheless and decides to stop it and goes in front of one red and white clothed person. He sees this and gets mad and jealous as the theme turns red. He then turns into a monstrous figure and this scared Damien. He then chases after him and kills his Robloxan. also making Damien pass out. After one day, his computer sends him back to his new park. He decides to get off of Roblox for a little bit. Here's a piece of artwork I made of what his monster form looked like. Here's the original, pause it for now. Even though this wasn't that creepy, I still liked it. Thanks for watching. DBJ Creepypasta, Damien's insanity. It started our intro and then going to the episode. Balina and Mario seemed to be having a conversation while Damien was outside. Although he looks strange, he has red eyes and a wide smile just like you see in the background. He holds Wells' knife. He goes inside to unalive his sidekicks and hides them in the basement. After this he looks and destroys the camera with her axe. Quite a short pasta by the way. Here's the original. Thanks for watching. DBJ Creepypasta, the Face MP4. Let's read. I am just going to make up my own for this. You can read the actual story at your own risk. Damien was planning a new Sonic Awkward series video since he published Melted Bendy. He records a new one called Tells His Face Problems. After completely published, something changed. The video was instead named the Face MP4. Damien was confused but watched it anyways. It skips the intros and went to the video. Tails was crying in his room for 30 seconds and goes to Sonic, laying on the bed. After he sees Tails crying he was shocked and said, "Tails, you cannot cry too much." Tails was confused and said, "Why not Sonic?" Sonic shouts, "It will make your face decompose severely." Damien immediately pauses and confusedly complains crying doesn't deform your face. He ignores and continued. Tails was shocked and attempts to stop crying, but he couldn't. He decides to go outside to try everything to stop sobbing, but he still didn't stop. He went back to the house, but before he entered, he exploded with blood and gore splatting everywhere for a single second. After a few seconds of blackness, Tails' loud screaming can be heard. It went back to Tails. It goes back to Tails, but he got a unsettling appearance. He has large eyes and a large mouth of void, without a nose, and has black tears, and has loud music similar to Sonic.exe. Damien tries to cover his ears. Using his hands worked. Tails goes back to his room and lays on his bed and the screen goes black. It comes back with Tails' face and it ends right there. Damien was shocked and deleted the episode. He decides to upload the original in the future. Again, pause and read the original. So apparently he was crying too much and ended up looking like this. Thanks for watching. DBJ Creepypasta. Viant666. Viant666 is a mysterious browser where Viant characters talk to you in your mind. A man was on his computer doing work. He was working so hard that he was given about $250. He decides to take a break and watch something. He went on YouTube watching Try Not to Laugh challenge videos. He also noticed something else above. It was named Viant Eggs. He used to love Viant when he was a kid when he watched Viant YouTube videos. When he was about to click it, a little suspicion comes into his mind. He ignores and clicks it. He went into Viant Studio but something is not right. The colors transitioned from orange to red. The person in the banner above have realistic blood stains on him. The tablet seems to be ripped apart, and the Viant people in the tablet seem to be unalived. The weirdest thing is that all the sentences in the menu is replaced with 666. He looked so wired out but decides to log in and test it for himself. Once he logs in, he tries to edit a first video. Once it goes to the video editing, there was already a Viant scene instead of the Viant first scene where it shows a workplace. Instead it's a scene with realistic blood all over the screen and a pitch black background. For some reason it already has preview on, and it shows the same scene for 4 minutes and the man was bored during that time. After 4 minutes a unknown Viant business-friendly person shows up on the screen. It was a very dark-skinned man with blood hands and feet in black clothing. Its eyes were red and holds a sword. He also talks through the screen to the man. "Hello human. Do you ever wonder what will happen when you use a sword slash through the PC to the real world? Let's test it out, shall we?" He slashes the man in the abdomen. He felt extreme pain and gets knocked out. Thank you. He disappears in the screen. After 1 hour of unconsciousness, he wakes up and saw the figure is gone. He was going to the hospital but before he could, he was actually recording the scene the whole time. So he sends it to the Viand company and some other corporation. The Viand company messaged him and it says, "Hey Daniel Saul, we are terribly sorry about what you just saw. Some person made an alternate version of the video editing application. We will try to find the person if we can. Once again sorry for the inconvenience. See you later, the Viand company." He replies with a thank you after they texted him. He decides to take a stroll at night. After traveling for miles, he heard a loud sound and that frightened Daniel. He tiptoed and after a few steps, he heard footsteps and immediately sprints after looking back. The figure outruns and unalives him. A person knew this by watching the run. After giving info to the public, an unknown organization sends the app to the corporation and secures it and prevents the public from seeing it ever again.